Irish sea moss that I get from Star West Botanicals, organic. I get it by the pound. It's certified kosher. It got the K symbol on it there. I get it ordered for $21.49 for a pound. But I get mine's ordered from a particular natural food store or farmers market store that I go to. And this is what I do. This is how I prepare it. I forgot to include also that it has 91 vitamins and minerals in it per serving. And you get your iron and everything included into it, your calcium and all. All right. Okay, so I rinse it in a strainer. And I put about a cup to soak in a container here. They don't have to be glass, but I soak in a container here overnight, or you could soak it for 3 hours or more, maybe about 8 hours or so, before straining it, because it's going to absorb the water. And then you want to rinse through a strainer to get all the seeds and stuff out. And as you can see, hardly any seeds are coming out of it at the bottom because I rinsed most of it out. And after I rinse it all through, I get mine cut and sifted. You can get a whole or you can get in powder, but I like to see what I get. So mine's cut and sifted. And when I'm done, I like to put it in my NutriBullet cup. And then I'm going to blend it. Well, I'm going to add, 2 cups to 1 cup of, 2 cups of water. Let me see. Yeah, 2 to 1 ratio. So 2 cups of water or to 2.5 cups of water to a cup of soaked Irish sea moss in the NutriBullet. But after about 30 seconds or so in a NutriBullet, it's going to get very thick, or your blender. And as it gets thick, to not put your blender in a strain, you want to stop and add some more water to it, a little bit at a time, just to dilute the thickness of it. And then after that, you're going to store it into a jar, a glass jar, and it can last up to like 10 days, a little under 2 weeks of use. Okay, so I have the NutriBullet and the cup of soaked and rinsed Irish sea moss. Now I'm going to pour. I know my measurements, so I'm going to pour about 2 cups and a half of water in here and start mixing. So I already know how much to add for how much I am making. I do fill mine up that far because it gets thick, but now I don't have to worry about it getting way too thick. If it do get way too thick and you don't have enough room in your blender or NutriBullet, after you blend it some, just scoop half of it out into another container on the side. Add more water to what's already left in the blender and blend. When you finish that all, pour it in your jar that you're going to reserve it in, and then do the same with the other half that you had set aside to finish. Okay, so this is what it looks like after 1 minute of blending the NutriBullet in water. So it's getting a bit thick, but it's still liquidy. But it's still a bit liquidy, but yeah, it's getting thicker. Blended my Irish sea moss. It's jelly-like. It do look a little liquidy. Renata, hand me a spoon, please, really quick. A spoon. Okay, so this, you can do it to the consistency that you like. It can be thicker. I like mine a slight bit thick. Yeah. Shh. This is the gel. You can blend it more than this, and it will become thicker and foamier. I like to use it in smoothies. Excuse me, mommy is talking. I like to use it in smoothies. I like to use it in soup. I like to use it in my teas, especially when I make ginger tea for my children. I like to also use this to make pancakes with for my daughters. Or you can bake bread with it. Use it to add to your bread. And let me see, what else do I use? I don't remember. I use for numbers of things. I think I said soups and teas. I love to add it too, especially if I'm using my crock pot. And you can make different things with this. You can add when you're making like your cream gravy, like vegan food, or your something to add to your salad dressing if you make your own salad dressing. So you can add your vitamins and minerals and sodium and calcium and iron and all in any of the foods, whether cooked or raw. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my funnel. Oh, and I use filtered water. It don't have to be filtered. It can be spring water, but I have filter container that I use mostly. So I have a used jar that I use for this in particular. You can put in whatever container you want, but I prefer glass. It's best to keep it in glass because plastic leaks chemicals into your stuff, and you don't want that, especially if it's not BPA free and chemical free and stuff like that, what the plastic's made of. So I am going to load this jar up with my Irish sea moss, and this is the gel form, as you see how it's going in. And when I put it in the refrigerator, after an hour or so, it's going to be like a stiff gel. And you can just take a scoop, and you can take a scoop of it or whatever you're using it for, and use it. Some people prefer to drink it, or not drink it, but eat it by itself. They can just eat a scoop of it if they want. Powder form, if you have your own vegan gel caps, your vegetable gel caps, you can put the powder into the gel caps and take it like that if you want to use it in powder form. So there's different ways you can use the Irish sea moss. But this is what it looks like after it's blended. It's still filling up. It's taking its time. So I think it's about through. Yeah, it's about through. And that's it. Shalom.